I met a man. I met a man on Monday night who mentioned he was green. I looked him firmly in the eye and said, "What do you mean? The pigmentation of your skin just looks a sort of pink." I harbour strong suspicions of the influence of drink. He said, "I do assure you that I really am quite sober. I haven't had a tipple since the 13th of October. The colour green refers to my political persuasion." I smiled, as I no longer feared an alien invasion. I met a chap on Tuesday who liked jogging underwater. Unfortunately, just last year, he drowned his wife and daughter. He's very philosophical and goes to meditation. I hear a woman found him in a trance on Bournemouth station. She rang up for an ambulance and tried to give him brandy. But then she tried the kiss of life, and now he's fine and dandy. I saw him Wednesday morning getting on a train to Swansea with 3 revolting children and a woman in a onesie. I met a woman Wednesday night who thought she was a toaster. She popped a slice of Hovis out and used it as a coaster. I frowned at her abuse of bread. It really got quite soggy. She coated it in bloater paste and fed it to her moggy. I thought I'd search for someone who could cure this girl's delusion. I googled Yellow Pages, but I gave up in confusion. She said that she was peckish, but for lunch it was too early, so she settled for a nibble from my tempting curly-whirly. I met a thug on Thursday night who gargles with Drambuie. He always takes his dentures out because it makes them gooey. His real name's Mark. At night he's known as Boris the Impaler. He used to be a prison guard in southern Venezuela. He sported a Mohican cut. His hair was very spiky. And all his clothes had labels on from Adidas or Nike. He growled and grabbed me by the throat. He really was a killer. I asked him nicely if he'd ever played for Aston Villa. On Friday I met Fereday, who was fluent in Swahili. He came and stood too close to me. He's very touchy-feely. He said, "You're a celebrity. I've seen you on the telly." I quickly backed away from him and stepped in something smelly. He told me he'd translated all the works of Thomas Hardy. I took my shoe off carefully and wiped it on my cardie. I'm told his wife deserted him for his disgusting habits. She now lives in a camper van with 37 rabbits. I saw Suzanne on Saturday. Her smile was enigmatic. Her frizzy hair stood up on end because of all the static. She asked the way to Walthamstow. I didn't have a clue. She started giggling helplessly. I think she'd had a few. She told me Dirty Dancing was her very favourite movie. She'd watched it 47 times and thought that it was groovy. She didn't do much dancing on account of being lazy, but every night she dreamed that she was snogging Patrick Swayze. On Sunday I considered all the strangers that I'd met. I thought about how strange they'd been, as strange can get. But stranger still are blokes like me who write about these folk. I didn't really meet them all, of course. It's just a joke. A waste of time, so you might think. But humour has its place, and life is hard. It's good to have a smile upon your face. I'm sorry if this wasn't quite the sort of thing you like. And since I've taken far too long, I'm getting on my bike.